Good morning. This morning, I wanted to talk to you all about what's going on in the Middle East. I'm sure you're probably weary of hearing what's going on. I mean, it's terrible things that happened. It started I guess it's tough to say that it started on October 7th, but the most recent events happened on October 7th when Hamas attacked innocent civilians of many nations. And decided that they were going to make their case for how, um, I guess they'll argue how oppressed they are. And they chose violence as the means to do that. Now, it wasn't just any violence, it was violence on innocent civilians. Um, and the thing that frustrates me is the events that have gone on since then and the history that is behind all of this. Um, the other day, we're talking, I believe it was on October 17th, I believe, or October 17th, a hospital was struck with munitions, and instantly media worldwide jumped on it and accused the Israelis of attacking this hospital and killing innocent civilians. And um, immediately the Arab world turned against um, the Israelis. And since then, what I've seen in the media, even here in Canada, is media reporting against the Israelis. Now, since that event occurred, evidence has come out, significant evidence. I've seen audio tapes of, I've heard audio tapes of Palestinians, Hamas soldiers, calling each other and acknowledging that it was a Hamas rocket that backfired, that struck that hospital, and it actually struck the hospital parking lot. So it was Hamas soldiers trying to kill more innocent Israeli civilians that backfired and hit that hospital, but yet the media is reporting that Israel is to blame. And I've heard so many people or so many media outlets reporting that radicals are trying to argue that an immediate ceasefire is required. Now, here's the problem, folks. Is that in Israel and in Gaza you have two populations. You have the Jews and you have the Palestinians. These two communities have lived together for over 5,000 years. They've lived in peace. The the governing bodies that have claimed ownership of that territory has changed hands many times over the years. And I believe it was France and Britain that owned that land or claimed that land as theirs last before they decided that they were going to hand it over to the Jews to create their own homeland. And when that happened, they actually had a plan where they were going to evacuate the Palestinians. There was never a Palestine territory or country or anything like that. They just lived on that land that was occupied by other nations. And the Jews said that they would like to see the Palestinians stay on the land that they've lived on for thousands of years, because for 5,000 years or more, they lived in peace. So this is not an issue where Palestinians and Jews can't get along. This is exclusively an issue where hateful animals have intervened, and those hateful animals have chose to wage war instead of peace. Those hateful animals have come in and said that we cannot have peace. We must hate instead. And what they've done is they've colored the minds or poisoned the minds of countless people to make them believe that hate is the only way to exist. The reality here, folks, is hate is not the only way to exist. And what this war is all about right now is they need to get rid of the people that absolutely refuse to live in peace and choose only hate as the only option. It is the sworn edict of Hamas that they will not stop until Israel is completely destroyed. They have no other option. They choose that the only option is to destroy Israel. Now, folks, I don't care what side of the argument you're on. I do not know everything about the argument. But what I do know is that peace is the best option. And what I do know is that for there to be peace, you need to get rid of the people that choose that they can only have hate, that they can only accept destroying a complete population. For there to be peace, you need to get rid of those people if they cannot be convinced to abolish hate and accept peace. That's what this war is about, folks. Israel is spent now, they have no choice. They're dealing with a terrorist group that chooses no other option than their absolute and complete destruction. They will not be convinced to choose peace. They will only choose hate. Once Hamas is gone, then the Palestinians and the Jews can come back to the table and they can come back and start talking about achieving the peace that they've enjoyed for more than 5,000 years. Please, I encourage you, if you're hearing the media reports that are slanted, that are completely forgetting about the thousands of people that were killed on or around October 7th, innocent civilians of many nations, if the media that you're hearing is completely forgetting about that and trying to make this sound like it's Israel that are the slaughters, I encourage you to do deeper research, get all the facts. And I encourage you to think about it, putting yourself in the place of the Jews. Imagine what it's like to live in a land where a small group of terrorists are trying to rile up an entire population and convince them that they should be devoted to the absolute and complete destruction of the Jewish population. Imagine what that would be like. And on the flip side, I encourage you to think about the peace we can have if we get rid of those who only choose hate. Cheers, everybody. Have a great day.